The 2018 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship from Buffalo, New York is brought to you by the all-new 2018 Chevrolet Traverse. Always gives 110% or 255 horsepower.
Welcome to Harbor Center here in Buffalo, across the street from the main rink of the World Junior Hockey Championship. As day number 3 as Team Russia takes on Switzerland. The Russians lost their opener to the Czechs. The Swiss narrowly beat Belarus, coming back in the third period to take that game by a score of 3-2. The officials are from the United States and Denmark. Jeremy Tufts from the USA. Jakob Grumson is from Denmark. Philip Wuthrich is the goaltender for Switzerland. Again, allowed 2 goals on 29 shots for the Swiss. He did not play in the tournament last year, was the third goaltender for Switzerland. And starting for Russia is Vladislav Sukachev, who came on in relief in the third period against the Czech Republic, allowed 1 goal on 8 shots, taking over for Alexei Melnichuk. Christian Volven, in his second year as the head coach of the Swiss national junior team, a native of Montreal, but moved to Switzerland as a young man, played 14 years there in their top league. And Valery Bragin is coaching the Russians for the 7th time. They've won a medal every time he's coached them, including gold here in Buffalo in 2011. He played in the unofficial World Junior Championship back in 1975 and 1976. Disappointed with his team's effort against the Czechs. He has shuffled 3 of his 4 lines here this afternoon for the game against the Swiss.
I thought they played a pretty ponderous game yesterday. They didn't really get on the puck much. I thought the Czechs were able to control a lot of the play by the way they forechecked. They actually outskated the Russians for much of the game, which is not something we're used to seeing. But, Gord, we often talk about the Russian team that starts slowly. Right. They're an older group, same as always, and they tend to build towards the middle of the tournament. It's kind of a big game for them all of a sudden, down 1, a little behind the 8 ball here after the opening day loss.
And the one thing we noticed with them, Ray, over the years is it often takes them 3 or 4 games to settle on a starting goaltender.
They're not, Bragin is not shy about moving his goalkeepers around. You mentioned after 40 minutes yesterday, that was it for Melnichuk, who gave up the 4 goals on 16 goals, or on 16 shots, and Sukachev is the starter here after he gets the loss, gave up just the 1 goal in the third period. The Russians got 2 late ones to make it 5-4.
Bragin was so incensed with his team at one point in the second period, Ray, we could hear him upstairs.
He's generally, you know, you can tell he's the boss, right? There's no question about that, but not that vocal. He was furious at one of their breakouts that they weren't in the right position, and he went at it hard. That was a dozy Russian performance. The Swiss better be quick for a quick Russian start today.
Mikhail Maltsev takes the draw for the Russians, and for the Swiss, it's Philip Kurashev, whose dad, Konstantin, played in 2 World Junior Championships for Russia, then moved to Switzerland to play. His son Philip was born in Switzerland, holds dual citizenship, and is playing for the Swiss. Nikolai Kanizhov plays it around for the Russians. This one line has stayed together. This is Alti Barmakian with Maltsev and Polodian, likely their best line against the Czechs. And away comes Andrei Alti-Barmakian, the Chicago third-round pick. A long shot kicked up by Wuthrich.
One thing to watch with Wuthrich, Gord, he is a rebound machine. He'll leave these rebounds punted out to the front of the net to see if the Russians get there to pick them up.
Polodian brings it in now for the Russians. Scored to tie the game against the Czechs in the first period. The game got away from the Russians. They fell behind 5-2, scored 2 late goals in the third period, draw within 1. German Rubtsev works in, shoots, and that shot was blocked. Rubtsev, first-round pick of the Flyers, plays for Acadie Bathurst in the Quebec Major Junior League, and Flyer GM Ron Hextall is here this afternoon. Artem Manyukin brings it in for the Russians. He got spilled. Now the centering pass for Rubtsev, gets a quick shot away, rebound, and Manyukin thought he'd scored. Somehow the puck stays out as Wuthrich dove across and lunged at the rebound.
I'm not real sure how Wuthrich stopped this second one, but when the puck goes across the front of the net to Manyukin, he doesn't release the puck right away. He's going to have it wide open. He's got a wide open net. He whiffs it the first time, and then he shoots it back underneath the goaltender. Watch, Manyukin's got the puck here off of Rubtsov's rebound, and he's going to whiff the first attempt. Now he's got to shoot it again, and he ends up hooking it back, hits the goaltender in the rear end, and the puck stays out of the net.
Kayamov had his arms in the air, sure that Manyukin had scored.
Manyukin's got 1 goal this year. Perhaps that's That's why. Wide open, and he just whiffed it.
Plays for Omsk in the KHL.
Well, there's another reason, too. So he's playing in the KHL. He's just a 19-year-old forward. He's small, 140 pounds, and man, he's taking a deep breath here as he can't believe he whiffed on that open.
He's the only right shot forward on the Russian roster. They only have 3 right shots total, 2 on D and 1 at forward.
He's going to find his sticks in the stick bag pretty easy, isn't he?
Although, if you break one,
nobody handed it to you.
Sholikov sends that rink wide for Vitaly Abramov. Abramov winds in and looks for the puck in the corner. Abramov was a noticeable player for the Russians against the Czechs. Plays for Victoriaville, 3rd year in the Quebec Major Junior League.
I thought he was their most energetic forward for much of the first 50 minutes of the game. It's hard to marry that with the way they played the last 10, where they were much better.
Lead pass, tipped in by Clint Costin. You mentioned a first-round pick of St. Louis playing in San Antonio this year in the American League, and a penalty coming now. And it's going to the Russians. Svechnikov digging for it. Costin trying to find it. Finally touches up. And with 2.5 gone here in the opening period, the Swiss, it would appear, will get the game's first power play, as Andrei Svechnikov will go off.
Russia gave up 2 power play goals to the Czechs in the first game, and they'll be shorthanded here for the 6th time in this tournament as Andrei Svechnikov, who many think will be in the top 2 or 3 picks of this year's draft, is going to get called for the bump from behind as he shoves Nico Gross into the boards. And Swiss power play was 0 for 1 yesterday, and they'll get a crack here.
So the game for the Swiss they had to have almost got away. Trailing Belarus in the 3rd period, they rallied back, but that Swiss win likely puts them into the medal round. Kurashev works into the power play, shoots short side, saved by Sukhachov. And Sukhachov freezes that against the outside of the goal frame and hangs on.
Sukhachov does not get this clean, and he has to battle and find the puck as it skips behind him. Kurashev's going to take the shot off the sideboards. He's taken the puck from the middle, worked his way over to the right half wall, and through the screen, this puck catches Sukhachov underneath the arm. He's able to get his arm tight to his body, and then he makes a really nice left pad stop on the rebound by Ken Yager.
Kurashev plays for Quebec in the Quebec Major Junior League. Led them in points last year and has 31 in 33 games this season. And he was the man who scored the winner on the power play in the 3rd period against Belarus. Brought in by Marco Miranda trying to center it. And back at the point is Nico Gross of the Oshawa Generals. Shot taken in by Axel Simic. That's blocked. The faceoff will come outside.
There's Yerman Rupsov drafted by the Philadelphia Flyers in the first round of the 2016 draft. His general manager, Ron Hextall, taking a look at things from the end of the rink down behind the Swiss goaltender.
The cozy confines of the Harbor Center. It's a great rink.
It's a great rink, and everybody, if these kids don't know who their scouts are of their prospective NHL teams, they're going to learn in a hurry. They're all about 30 feet off the end of the rink.
And we're not much further away. We're 9 rows up calling the game here. So this facility was built by the Pegula family after they bought the Buffalo Sabres. Academies held here. There's a full-time high-performance sports academy here. And we are literally across the street from the KeyBank Arena, the main arena for this tournament. The Slovak dressing room is here. They actually walked from here over to the other rink to play last night.
Inside. We'll have to go outside here.
Eggenberger across the line now, drops off from this bomber. Feeds it back in front, and that pass bounced away from Guillaume Maillard. 50 seconds to go in the Swiss power play. We've talked about it before, Ray. The formula is get good goaltending and score on the power play.
Well, they got a miraculous save early on that missed chance by Russia. Now they've got a power play, but they haven't done much with it. The one chance by Kurashev is really all that they've had.
Dominic Egley drops that back for Elia Riva. Both of them are full-time players in what is now called the National League in Switzerland, their former A-League. But half the players in the Swiss roster are full-time players in the top league in Switzerland, which only permits 4 imports per team, so they get a chance to play.
Well, they get a chance to be on the roster.
Right.
You know, the difference is, and I wonder this sometimes with the development thought, is that it's awesome. You're in the top league. You play 6 minutes a night, and that doesn't help you either. It's a tough balance, but the Swiss have been locked down on the number of imports for a number of years.
No shots on goal for the Swiss on that power play. A number of these Swiss players will bounce up and down between the National League and the second league, known as the Swiss League, and some even will play for 3 different teams over the course of the season in the third league. And there's a half dozen also play over here in the Canadian Hockey League. Maillard swings that rink wide, trying to find Justin Seegers. The pass eluded him. And Svechnikov couldn't knock it down to center ice. Now brought in by Kostin. Clinton Kostin across from Maltsev. Maltsev works it free, a rolling puck and a backhand shot goes wide. Maltsev. Battle from the corner there with Kurashev. And now Gross picks it out. Nico Gross is a player a lot of scouts are watching, eligible for the upcoming draft. Offensive defenseman playing in the Canadian Hockey League. Off by Makian as that pass handcuffed him. Plays it back for Polodian. And now Polodian. Chris crossing with Alter Makian. And Polodian stays on it. Throws it back in front, and Sholikov missed on that one-timer. Back at the point, a hard shot there by Mikheyev goes wide. And racing back to pick it up. Here's Kadajov. Good pace here in the opening period. No score. Just over 6 minutes in. Sholikov winds his way in. Toss it back to Sokolov. And Avramov couldn't get a shot away. Now chipped ahead by Andre Heim. And Heim got elbowed there by Russian captain Igor Zaitsev, and a penalty coming to the Russians. Eggenberger works in, drops it back. And we'll get an elbowing call against Zaitsev, so the Swiss are going back to the power play with 13:32 to go in the opening period of the 2018 World Junior Hockey Championship.
Second unnecessary penalty for the Russians as Igor Zaitsev, their captain, elbows Andre Heim in the neutral zone, so Russia shorthanded for the second time today. They were shorthanded 5 times against the Czechs. Too many times put your team shorthanded. Eventually you get burned. Yesterday the Czechs got 2 quick ones and they moved the puck pretty well on them.
And that was really the difference of the game, wasn't it? They kind of blew it open in the second period, and the Russians made that late push but couldn't come back.
And the Russian power play was 0 for 6 yesterday as well, so they lost the special teams battle. They were asleep early and couldn't make up ground to tie the game.
Shots on goal have been updated now. The Swiss had 2 shots on that first power play. So some ice repairs being made here. Speaking of that, Team Canada got a chance to practice on the outdoor ice at New Era Field today. The Americans practiced there yesterday.
They had a couple of cones around the ice where apparently there was a couple problem spots, but for the most part everything was good. The real challenge will be the cold, whether the ice will crack or how they keep it so it doesn't crack.
I was waiting for you to say those cones represented your former wingers, but you were...
Just our defense. Never got the puck on your stick. It couldn't be our fault.
Kurashev takes the return pass. Brings that rink wide. Simic with a drive, and Sukichov got a piece of that. Heim battles for the corner. Plays it back for Simic. Down to Heim. Back for Kurashev. Walks in and shoots short side. And Sukichov gets a stop on that. Kurashev back to Gross. Kurashev winds in, holds. Slides it back, but Miranda can't find it. Bouncing puck. And Kurashev almost poked that hole. Now Kurashev goes back across for Simic. To Gross with a shot. That's blocked. As laying down was Arthur Kayamov to block that.
Really good puck movement this time for the Swiss. They get a couple good chances. Simic with the best one. Sukichov with a couple of good stops again for Russia.
And Kayamov limped back to the Russian bench. Maillard works it in now. Eggenberger trying to reach it. Sukichov couldn't quite clear that out. Loose puck in the slot, poked ahead by Kadajov. Now brought back by Kostin. Then Kostin. And across the line, Eggenberger now gathers up a loose puck and quickly brings it back the other way. Turns the puck over at center ice to Kostin. 35 seconds to go in the Swiss power play. And Riva back to pick it up for Eggly. More than half this Swiss team can return next year. There's now Maltsev with the steal on Maillard. Works it and shoots. He fired that wide. 14 Swiss players born in 99 or later. So a very young team here as Sokolov works it and shoots. This short side. Riva got a stick on that.
The second Swiss power play group having a much more difficult time getting set up.
2 shots for the Swiss on this power play. That pass missed Segrist, and it's icing called against the Swiss. So 2 early opportunities for Switzerland on the man advantage, and they don't connect.
Yeah, Philip Kurashev is going to get the first chance. He had the puck and goes across to Simic. Nice play, good puck movement from Heim at the goal line to Kurashev on the half wall. And there's a second one that bonks off the coconut of Sukichov, who's stopped Kurashev 3 times on the power play.
Off the draw, set back in by Yelizarov, and Lutrick puts that away. This bomber. And that blocked by Kayamov, who's back on the ice after blocking that shot earlier. Kayamov back with it. Brings it back for Samorukov. And Samorukov plays that in deep. Barandun plays it off for the Swiss. Yelizarov has it back. Yelizarov played the previous 2 years for the Edmonton Oil Kings in the Western Hockey League. Now plays for Salavat Yuleev Ufa in the KHL. Ufa, the host city of the 2013 World Junior Championship, where Team USA won the gold of that star-studded defense. Sholikov plays across to Abramov. Works it back in front. Tip wide there by Sholikov. Held in the point by Manulin. And Sokolov plays it around for Zaitsev. Sholikov rather, for Sokolov. And Sholikov was knocked down. And we'll get a penalty to the Swiss, so the Russians will get their first power play. 9.5 minutes in.
A cross-checking penalty for Barandun. We'll see if Russia's special teams flip the switch a little bit, as there's the penalty against the boards. This is the chance the Russians had a little earlier on. Real nice play. Sholikov goes outside to Abramov and then goes right to the net. He just redirects this wide on the right. Real nice puck movement, could transition. And now the Russians will get their first power play crack.
Sholikov, though, lost the face-off as Andre Heim won that draw. Great pass for Abramov, leaving it for Sokolov. That's poked out there by Eggenberger. Shot right in by Sillman. Knocked away there by Lutrick. Now Sokolov back at the point. The pass for Sillman misses. It comes back to center. Abramov works his way in. Sokolov plays it across for Sillman. Back to Sokolov. Sillman, long wrist shot, scored! Sillman on the power play gives the Russians a 1-0 lead.
And so after killing 2 penalties, the Russian power play comes through. It's the point shot from Sillman. I don't know if this gets deflected by Kostin into the zone. Watch Abramov on the entry. Nowhere to go. Instead of forcing it, he turns back, and now the Russians are going to gain control. That's a key point in the play. And Sillman is going to play a little catch with Sokolov on the sidewall, and his shot either skips or is tipped by Kostin in front of the net. Maybe both. And the Russian power play is on the board first. It's 1-0.
And Sillman has scored in back-to-back games for the Russians. He scored with a minute to go against the Czechs to draw them within 1.
Same type of shot too, Gord. That just a little wrist shot. He didn't tee it up or anything. Yesterday's went straight in clean. This one took a little skip, and it's 1-0 Russia.
Svechnikov across the line, but the play is called offside. Russia with a 1-0 lead on the goal by Vladislav Seoman.
Get another look at this power play goal as Seoman shoots the puck from the point. It's going to hit the right ankle of Klim Kostin. Right on top of the crease. It hits his foot and deflects past Wutrik in the goal for Switzerland. And so Russia's special teams have done the job here in the first 11 minutes of this game. 2 kills and a power play goal.
So Kostin gets credit for it. Mentioned playing for San Antonio in the American League. Just 2 goals in 26 games for him. He was drafted with a first-round pick St. Louis got with the Ryan Reeves trade with Pittsburgh.
Missed most of last year with shoulder surgery, so he slid a little bit in the draft, and St. Louis was pretty excited to get Kostin with their second first-round pick of the draft. Got Robert Thomas in the first one.
Jagger tried to knock that down, now brought back by Kayamov. Archer Kayamov posts up. Centers it, tipped wide by Rubtsov. Back on his Manukin for Rubtsov. And then Rubtsov, the only returning skater from last year's team for the Russians. Valery Bragin likes 19-year-olds in the tournament. As a result, not a lot of returning players year to year. And the Russians this year, 20 of the 23 players in the roster are 19 years of age.
Always seem to take a younger goalie. It is a returnee possibility the next year.
They cut Alexei Lopanov of the Barrie Colts, one of the top scorers in the Ontario League. He's an 18-year-old. And one of the points that Brogin made at the last year's tournament was a lot of their 18-year-olds he felt were disappointing. So he's always liked older players. Maltsev for Altipamakin. Drops it back to Maltsev and shoots, and Wutrik got a blocker on that. Maltsev with it now. Trying to work that free, scooped up by Tobias Geiser. Geiser, the only drafted player on this Swiss roster. A 4th-round pick of the Washington Capitals. Of course, last summer, Nico Hischier became the first Swiss player to go first overall in the NHL draft. He's a little busy right now with New Jersey.
A couple of goals last night for the Devils.
But for a country like Switzerland, to not have Hischier is a tough one to replace. Svechnikov works in, and poke check at the last second. A diving defensive play there by Ilya Riva. Seoman plays it back in. Svechnikov racing to it. Riva rides him into the corner board. Eggenberger throws it back to center ice. Heim trying to dig it free, and Svechnikov throws it back. Shepelev with it. Alexander Shepelev plays for Chelyabinsk. Turns it over. Nussbaumer almost away. Now Shepelev has it back, and his pass hits Sokolov in the back. Bernie swings back for the Swiss to Nussbaumer. His centering pass broken up by Sholikov to Sokolov. Brogin could do us a favor and break up Sholikov and Sokolov.
That would be nice.
As Leyenberger sits in for the Swiss. Every year we see Brogin in the hallway. Every year he nods to us, says hello, and keeps on walking.
That's the speech.
Zaitsev back forward. There's the puck there for Rubtsov. Looking at his Cavallari for the Swiss. And I'm moved out by Rubtsov. Kayamov swings back. And leaves it there for Samarukov. Kayamov at center ice. Fires that back down to the Swiss zone. The shots are 6-5 Russia. With 5.5 to go here in the opening period. Centering pass is knocked down by Tobias Geiser. Geiser slides that back down to the Russian end where Sukhijov is back to pick it up. Knajov. Back to Mikheyev. Now Kurashev back at center ice for it. One thing Swiss coach Christian Volman told us is they would not sit back in this tournament. Florian plays it back for Maltsev.
The passive game just can't work anymore, so you have to get up on your toes a little bit. And the Swiss have always been pretty aggressive. The trouble they have is they don't have enough skill to scare teams, really.
Alke-Barmakian works that through the slot. Miranda got a stick on him, but Alke-Barmakian stays on it. Pivots back in the corner. Back for Pelodian. Now the puck stripped away and moved ahead quickly by Miranda. And knocked down at center ice by Pelodian. And there's Mikheyev with it. Shepelev for Svechnikov. Andrei Svechnikov, who's older brother of Genny, the draft pick of Detroit. And that rolled off his stick and it's played out by Lecoutre. Ivanov had that poked away from him, and Shepelev is back to pick it up. Pretty brisk first period here. As Ivanov has it, Georgi Ivanov for Svechnikov. Works it and shoots, and Vutric knocks that away. Shepelev. That is pass broken up there by Tim Berni. And Berni jumps to center ice, a skipping puck, and Sukuchov had to be careful with that. Kamarukov kind of handcuffed Sholikov with that pass. And Sholikov plays it back across for Shepelev. Great pass for Abramov. Trying to find Sokolov. And Gross moves it back in the corner for Geiser. Geiser in across the line, chips it ahead. Trying to find Leuenberger with it. And two Swiss players collide behind the Russian net. And now Sokolov is away, and the Russians are 4 wide. Kamarukov for Abramov. Drops it back. Sholikov in, shoots. Vutric makes the save.
This line has been good here. Sokolov and Abramov in particular.
Leuenberger plays it back to center. And Manulin back with it. Artem Manulin plays for Swift Current in the Western Hockey League. In his third year with the Broncos. Zaitsev in across the line. Good there. Kurashev picks it up and plays the puck around for Egley. Bayard. Up ahead, rink wide for Riva. And Riva got bumped by Zaitsev. And the play is called at the Russian line with 2:14 to go here in the opening period. And Russia leading Switzerland 1-0. There's Bruins GM Don Sweeney looking on here at the Harbor Center in Buffalo. Joking with him before the game that getting a good look at his kids in Boston. All the injuries they've had.
Yeah, they've got some real good ones. Danton Hennon has had a real nice start, got 9 goals. Jake DeBrusk has been very good, and of course their prize is Charlie McAvoy on the blue line, who was outstanding last year in this tournament.
Maltsev has it chipped away. Vutric knocks that to the corner. Pelodian trying to work that free for Maltsev. Maltsev trying to find Mikheyev. That was broken up. Miranda moves it ahead. And just out of the reach of Kurashev. You get the sense that the Swiss are going to do something. It'll be this line, right?
They've been the ones that have been most dangerous with the puck. Certainly on that power play, they moved the puck quite nicely, had a couple good chances.
Alke-Barmakian works his way in as the Russians are changing. Throws it across for Rubtsov. Roman Rubtsov pivots back in the corner. Kayamov throws that towards the goal, and it's poked away by Berni. Miranda slides it there for Kurashev. Plays it back down the Russian zone. Manulin plays that ahead, but now the play broken up by Bayard. Rubtsov waiting for it. Swings it rink wide for Kayamov. Final minute now, the opening period. Kayamov, a little back pass. Picked out by Eggenberger. And now Eggenberger comes leaping in, shoots. Knocked the stick out of Zaitsev's hand, but the puck didn't get down to the net. Play back to Gross, has time, in shoots, Sukuchov makes the save, rebound, loose in front, poked away by Rubtsov.
Sukuchov's made some good stops, not easy ones in amongst a whole lot of traffic.
Nico Gross in his first year in the Ontario Hockey League. Flips that in. Simic races to it, trying to play that back, but it's picked off by Costa. They've changed the goal back, by the way, to Seoman. And I think we have to change it again, because it was Costa who touched it last on the way in. And Seoman back to pick it up as time expires here in the opening period. The Russian power play goal, the only one of the opening 20 minutes, as they have a 1-0 lead on the Swiss here on day 3 of the 2018 World Junior Hockey Championship. Coming up, our first intermission. You're watching the World Juniors from Buffalo, live on TSN. Here's your first period scoring summary. The confusion continues over the Russian goal. We think Klim Kostin got it. They gave it to him and give it back to Seoman. We think they'll change that back. A power play goal at 10:21. Russia out shooting the Swiss 9-5 in the opening 20 minutes. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro, and the Swiss had their chance in the early going 2 power plays, and their best player, Philipp Kurashev, made a difference.
Yeah, Philipp Kurashev's a good player. Draft eligible this year. He's got 31 points in 33 games for Quebec in the Quebec Hockey League, and has real good speed, but also a pretty heady player. You saw him in his interview with Tessa, excited to play against Russia, where he has family ties, and he was on the puck. Their line, as you mentioned, Gord, in that first period, if the Swiss are going to score, it's probably going to have a lot to do with this line. Kurashev's a dangerous player. He's in the middle of it, handles the puck, and skates very well. Played 7.5 minutes in that first period.
Team will start the second period 5-on-5, but for the Swiss, those 2 early power plays not generating much on them might come back to haunt them.
And then turn around and give up the shorthanded goal, the power play goal to the Russians later.
Centering pass, Miranda walks in, scores! Just like that, Marco Miranda, 9 seconds into the period, has tied this game at 1. Wow.
Just a misplay at the Russian blue line, and that's a pretty nifty feed across to Miranda, beat Sukuchov on the glove, and it's Kurashev, head up, right on the tape, and Miranda's shot just low underneath the glove. A quick strike 9 seconds in. We just talked about Kurashev. He puts it on the tape for Miranda, who was thrilled with his first goal of the tournament.
So Miranda is one of those guys who plays in multiple leagues in Switzerland. He's bounced up and down. It would feel like a player going to the NHL and the American League up and down, but Miranda, 19-year-old, has tied it up at 1, and new life now for the Swiss. Wow. It shouldn't matter, Ray, but goals in the first minute of a period and the last minute of a period always seem to make a big difference, don't they? Nukian shoots off the outside of the goal frame.
They do. It's just 1 goal, but it feels like more. It really feels now, if you're the Russians, you're not prepared. Now you got to get going again, and you can see how much excitement the Swiss would have. And they're going to get a power play here.
So now, 59 seconds into the period, you've got a penalty coming to the Russians. It'll be Vitaly Abramov who goes off, so now a power play on the elbowing call.
This is almost an inadvertent elbow here, I believe, by Abramov behind the net. He's going to reverse the puck. And Segrist skates right into his forearm. I'm not real sure what else he was going to be able to do. In any case, the Swiss will get their 3rd power play of the hockey game.
A couple of good looks for the Swiss on those 2 power plays in the first period.
That first group, this group is the dangerous one here. Kurashev and Simic had that play right through the seam. Heim gets to the front of the net. The second group had all kinds of trouble getting set up. basically, this is a top-heavy team, it appears, the Swiss are.
Here's Kurashev setting it up. Drops it right down. High with a chance. Rebound. Cut it towards the goal by Simic. And Sukuchov flung himself at that rolling puck.
He's made some good saves. He hasn't had a pile of work, but man, he's had to be sharp.
Now Kaufman short-handed in and shoots, and Vutric knocks that over the glass and out of play.
Sukuchov's going to make this save. A nice play from Kurashev down to the goal line, and Heim spins, quickly delivers the puck that Sukuchov makes the save, and it jams Simic. He's not able to get much on it, although it causes a little bit of trouble for Sukuchov in the goal. But that was a good initial stop on Heim off the goal line.
Back at the Russian line, played ahead by Shepelev. Vutric out to play it. In the pre-tournament game against Canada, he had some adventures playing the puck, but delivers it there for Simic. For Miranda, the Swiss goal scorer. Miranda across for Kurashev. Walks in, shoots, but that's just wide. And Gross back to pick it up. Nico Gross, a 17-year-old, up for Miranda. For the longest time, when you talked about the best Swiss player in the NHL, you were talking about Mark Streit. It might be Roman Josi now, and Nico Hischier coming up hard on the outside.
And the Swiss have put on some pretty good players. Nino Niederreiter's another. But you're right, Josi is just a fabulous player in Nashville.
Streit was a terrific player for a long time in the NHL, a long-time captain of the Swiss national team.
One thing got him that got everybody. You just get older. Once you get older, that's just the way it goes. There's a great line, isn't there, about Larry Murphy?
He said in his mind, from the face-off dot to the corner was 2 steps. On video, it was 4.
That's when you know, okay, I'm a little older and it's a little longer.
But in your mind, it's not.
It's not. No, absolutely not.
When you think about the Swiss program and how far it's come, relegated in 2008 at the tournament in the Czech Republic, came back to the top level in 2010 and upset the Russians that year in the quarterfinals. Nino Niederreiter had the overtime winner in the quarterfinals. Their only medal came in 1998 in Helsinki.
But they're never easy. They're organized. They usually get pretty good goaltending.
A long tradition, the Allaire brothers, Benoit and Francois, had a goaltending academy in Switzerland for years, and for a long time, Swiss NHL players were goaltending. David Abisher and the likes of that.
Martin Gerber. Yeah. And they all played the same.
Eggenberger back for Eggly. One shot on goal for the Swiss on that power play. And now Rigo with a shot that goes off the leg of Rubtsov. Abramov comes streaking out of the penalty box. Abramov works in. Goes between his legs. Tries to throw that back and hit the side of the goal frame. And Eggenberger quickly back the other way for the Swiss. Eggenberger shoots. Gloved by Sukuchov. And he'll hang on to that.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. With our wide selection of top brand appliances, nobody beats our prices. Guaranteed.
Back here by the Niagara River. Buffalo, New York. The 2 rinks are a block apart. The Falls not far away. And it is a little chilly. The Canadian reports are coming back from the outdoor practice today. That's offside at the Russian line. The game scheduled for 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. It was about minus 15 Celsius at noon today. By the way, Christian Volvin, the coach of the Swiss team, may be the most expressive we've seen.
Oh, I don't know. Think.
Well, there was
Eller,
the late
Eller. Lars Eller's father.
Olaf Eller for Denmark.
By the time he's finished, it's like he put his tie on yesterday. It's way over to the side.
He always has a look like he walked into the wrong ring by accident. He has this quizzical look on his face. Matt came with a shot that goes wide. The late Yaroslav Holik, Bobby's dad, used to bang his head on the glass when he wasn't happy. Caleb fires that wide. Well, Noel Bragan's upset with the Russians when he stands on the boards to face his team. Jaeger looking for the loose puck there along the boards. Now swatted out by Ken Jaeger. So the Swiss had a quick strike here, 9 seconds into the second period. Then they got a power play, and a chance to take the lead. It remains a 1-1 tie. Arthur Kayamov from Minukin spins and shoots, and Vutric makes the easy save. Now Minukin tries to center it, and Vutric gloves that.
Yesterday in the win against Belarus, Filip Vutric made 25 saves. As the Swiss were down 2-1 in the third period, scored a couple of goals 3 minutes apart. The winner with 8.5 minutes left.
Volven must be exhausted after games.
I think the last part of that is think. That's all I got out of that.
And after that, I think is what he said. It was an entertaining host to us before the pre-tournament game in London, talking about having a team with one drafted player. Kepler brings it around. And now Gross back to pick it up. He, unlike some other international coaches, likes the fact that some of the top Swiss players play in North America. He's here played in Halifax. Feels that it's important for development to have those players playing in the best leagues they can. Sholikov works in across the line. Now Kostin picks it up in the corner. Klim Kostin. Crisscrossing there with Sholikov. Kostin still holding it. Walks out, waits, still has it. Kostin in, shoots, and Vutric makes the glove save as Klim Kostin puts on a display of puck handling.
That's a pretty impressive cycle, one-man cycle, basically like Klim Kostin as he holds the puck on the boards. He's going to slip away from Elia Riva and then get himself right into the middle of the ice. Head up, he's looking if there's another option. There isn't. And he ends up running two Swiss players into each other. So watch Elia, he's going to chase him, or Riva's going to run into Elia right in the slot, and that allows Kostin just another foot or two to take the shot.
Off the face-off, Win Mikheyev plays it down to Alti Barmakian. And that shot blocked by Egley. Maltsev, his top line going back to work for the Russians. Throws it down in the corner. Polodian pivots back in behind the net, crisscrossing with Maltsev. Polodian dangles and shoots. Saved by Vutric. Alti Barmakian has him down, tries to jam it in, and Vutric reached back to make the paddle save of that. Alti Barmakian shoots and misses short side. When these guys are on the ice for the Russians, something usually happens.
Well, you talked about 3 of the 4 lines were moved around by Valeri Bragin and the Russians today. This line didn't move.
And now Mikheyev leads the rush as the Russians are changing. Mikheyev in, shoots, and Vutric makes the pad save. Alti Barmakian reaching back for it at the end of a long shift. Now brings it back the other way for Kayamov. Kayamov works it and shoots, and Vutric makes the stop on that. German Rubtsov. Back in the corner for Kayamov. And spinning back is Minukin. Minukin in, shoots, Vutric a pad save. Rubtsov spins and shoots. That was blocked. Barely got in the way. Now Seeger is trying to drop it back. The pass is picked off. And Millen has it back for the Russians.
Well, the Russians have really forechecked well here in the last 4 or 5 shifts. The Swiss can't even make a pass, get the puck up the ice.
Now Sokolov with the steal throws that right through the crease. Nussbaumer was almost away there. Bernie picks up the rolling puck, flips that to the line, but not out. And now Rohrbach finally chips it out for the Swiss. Lekutra plays it around for Bernie, who plays that back ahead and finds Jaeger with it. In and shoots. It goes off the stick of Stroman and wide. And Lead pass for Sokolov. Sokolov for Abramov. Works it back for the trailer. Shoot with a hard shot. That goes wide. Abramov. And that's stripped away. And Cavallari works up for the Swiss. Cavallari walks in and shoots. And the save made by Sukachov. 11:38 to go here in the second period. Marco Miranda has the tying goal for Switzerland. It's 1-1 here in the second.
Back-to-back shifts. Alexei Volodyin has been on the puck, doing a tremendous job cycling it. There he gets an initial shot turned aside by Vutric, and then Ulti Barmakian is going to get two chances. One that he tried to jam in on the short side. The second, he spins around and tries to go up over the top of the left shoulder of Vutric.
So Peloti is a guy that we talk about the Swiss players bouncing up and down. A lot of the Russians play in multiple leagues as well. There's the KHL, of course, their top league. There's also the VHL, which is their second league. Then the MHL, their junior league. Peloti has played in all three of those leagues over the last 2 years. So Switzerland's not the only place where players will bounce up and down leagues. Some of these Russians play in 3 leagues in 1 year as well. Geiser goes in. Blocked there by Svechnikov. The MHL was the brainchild of Vladislav Tretiak. The attempt to build a Russian junior league to give their players a chance to play at home against their peers.
One of the great challenges they have in Russia, of course, is the country's so massive.
Right.
Is unless you can group the teams so closely together that, you know, travel costs are one thing, and, you know, trying to keep some sort of budget to the whole deal is really a challenge. The KHL has got 11 time zones. You go on a road trip there. I mean, that's a road trip.
The trip from Kunlun in China to IFK or to Jokerit Helsinki, which is in the KHL, is, I believe, a 10-hour flight. Peloti back for Maltsev. Maltsev works it and shoots. That was blocked. Loose puck in front. Eggenberger trying to knock it away. And the flip of that shot by Ulti Barmakian. Maltsev trying to dig it free. And Eggly has it back for the Swiss. To Eggenberger. His pass was knocked down. And now Maltsev has it back. Nikolai Knyzhov. Goes out ahead. Knocked down by Kayamov. And played back down in the Swiss zone as we approach the midway point of the second period. 1-1 tie. You'd have to say, you told the Swiss before the game this would be the score at this point. They take it.
Thrilled. What would they want differently? I mean, halfway through the game, you're tied at 1.
Let's join Tessa Bonhomme.
Now, I know I'm probably going to get some flack for you guys for giving my hometown a bit of a shout out, but hey, I'm going to do it anyways because this young player deserves it. For those of you who don't know Dmitry Sokolov, get to know him. The Minnesota Wild got an absolute steal of a deal when they drafted him. 7th overall back in 2016. Sokolov has scored more goals than any player that's at this tournament in the CHL. He plays for the Sudbury Wolves. More goals, more power play goals, more game-winning goals, and that's saying a lot considering Team Canada boasts some big names like Taylor Radish, Sam Steele, and Jordan Kyrou. Now, his love for scoring is shown through his celebrations. When he went to the Minnesota Wild development camp, he was asked to dial them back a little bit, but he said he can't even help it. It just happens. So maybe he celebrates a little bit harder than Ovi. Gord.
A Sudbury Wolf. Well done, Tessa.
Been quiet the first couple of games of this. He's a big, strong kid. There he is.
Sokolov in, shoots and rattled that high and wide. A 7th round pick of the Wild in 2016. When you talk about a team like Tampa, which is having such a great year, and it was 6-7 years ago that Tampa decided to take Russians when no one else would. And you wind up with Vasilevsky in goal, Kucherov, Nemesnikov. Sokolov, meantime, drops it back for Sholikov. And Sholikov walks out of the corner. Up there by Nussbaumer. And the lead pass by Geiser goes off the skate. The one thing you notice for the Swiss is how little happens when anyone but the Kurashev line is on the ice.
They are top heavy. That line is going to carry the day offensively for them.
You know, icing called against the Swiss. And the face off back to their zone.
The rest of the group has to be pretty detailed, pretty solid defensively. Now Kurashev scored a goal in the first game. He set up a goal in the second game, and the goal he set up was to Miranda, who now got a goal and an assist in both games. So that big line is pretty much it for them so far.
Seelman, Grishov for the point, deflected wide. Swiss have Sweden on Saturday, close out the round robin against the Czechs on Sunday. And here, giving the Russians all they can handle in a 1-1 tie. Seelman for the Russians, Miranda for the Swiss.
Switzerland's going to be short-handed as Sven Leuenberger flips this puck over the glass, but it doesn't really look like much, except if that goes into the bench, he's going to be okay. It hits the back of the glass. Now they're short-handed again. The Russians 1 for 1 on the power play. Look for the tiebreaker for their second opportunity.
Dicer on it, can't clear it out. It's Manulin held the line for Kayamov. And Kayamov throws it down to Maltsev. Rubtsov lost the puck to Gross. And Nico Gross sends it down the ice. Nico Gross, a young defenseman, attracting a lot of attention from scouts.
I like the way he plays. He's a physical guy. He gets, he's not shy into the game. Moves the puck all right as well. Played last year as a 16-year-old in this tournament.
Now Maltsev with it. Trying to find Kayamov. Maltsev pivots back. Kayamov on the goal line. Feeds it back to Manulin. Manulin back for Rubtsov. Rubtsov holds, waits, tries to center it, goes off the skate of Dicer, right back to Rubtsov. Manulin with a shot, and that's kicked away by Butrick. And Gross is now going to get a penalty from hitting behind on Maltsev. So a 5-on-3 coming out for the Russians. And they throw it back in front, and now the cross-checking call will go against Gross, and the Russians will have a 5-on-3 for 52 seconds.
That's not a good penalty here by Nico Gross as he chases into the corner. The player's too close to the boards. If Gross drives his own legs and wants to push the Russian player, you get closer to the boards, and so you can hit him into the boards. That's a bad penalty and puts the Swiss in a precarious spot. And don't forget, the Russians only have 3 right-handed shooters on their team, so Manulin, the defenseman, is going to be the only righty out there.
Yeah, and only one at forward.
And he's not going to be there.
Seelman. Big pitch and catch. Now gets it back. Walks in. Drops it across. Manulin, a hard shot goes wide. Put back in front by Sokolov. And the rebound cleared away by Maillard. 30 seconds ago, in the first penalty, and the Russians are offside at the Swiss line.
Ooh, that was close. Nice quick up. Just offside. Here's the chance just prior. Shot by Manulin is tipped wide by Kostin. Almost bounces out to Sokolov.
Look at the four coaches all stand together and are often all talking at the same time. It's like they're having a committee meeting during the game.
It's a good thing nobody wants to sit down. They're all on the bench.
Broggen had 1 foot up on the boards a moment ago, so we haven't seen the full Broggen where he stands and faces the team. If he did that to you?
I mean, as I watch it, I think it's hilarious that he's walking on the boards and making sure everybody is paying attention when you're up top, that's for sure.
Broggen spent a long time playing in Denmark, actually played and coached in Denmark. Kayamov works it back for Seelman. Kayamov works it back door, but a defensive play there by Andre Heim to knock that away. Now Eggenberger back one-on-one with Seelman. Eggenberger short-handed, trying to throw that through Seelman's feet.
Oh, that's great work by Eggenberger.
Here he comes again. Manukyan plays that rink wide for Manulin, walking in. First penalty expired now. The centering pass just knocked wide. Off the pick of Manukyan. 2 shots on goal in the first part of that penalty. Still a minute to go in this Russian power play.
That's really good work led by Eggenberger, the captain.
And Heim with the block of that pass right on the doorstep. As Mikheyev works it back to Abramov. In across the line is Abramov now. Drops it back for Sokolov. Sokolov to Shepelev. Back to Sokolov. Wade shoots short side, and Vutric leaning, squeezes that puck between his arm and his body.
There is the Swiss captain, Nando Eggenberger. He's going to chip this puck by Manula. Now he's off to the races, eligible for this year's draft. Eggenberger showed some good speed, some really good awareness. He's trying to go back with that puck back to the defenseman in his own zone. It got deflected and he chased it back down again. That's terrific work by him.
Altibar Makin for Shepelev. Back to Altibar Makin. Wide pass for Mikheyev. Now Maltsev with it. Maltsev walks out of the corner, shovels that back across. Altibar Makin with a sharp angle shot. That's blocked. And now sent down the ice again by Andre Heim. Final seconds now, the penalty for Switzerland's Nico Gross. And now, play called in the Swiss zone as the puck goes over the glass. The Russians have had 3 shots on goal here, including a minute of 5-on-3.
We'll certainly remember this here with the game tied at 1, just under 6 minutes left, and the Swiss kill a 5-on-3 for an extended period of time.
And Heim and Eggenberger terrific on the kill for the Swiss.
So a goal 9 seconds into the period. Excellent penalty killing.
And Gross throws it around for Geiser. Back down to the Russian zone. A nice job being shadowed there by Maillard, who steals the puck away. Maillard looking for Kurashev. Drops it back for Miranda. The puck squirted away from him. Miranda, who has the Swiss goal. Back for Geiser to Gross. 19-8, the shots on goal in favor of Russia. Svechnikov across the line with Kostin. Svechnikov centers it, Kostin in, shoots, deflected puck. Vutric didn't know where it was, but it bounced in front of him, and he was able to hang on. Good chance there, set up by Svechnikov. It remains a 1-1 tie here in Buffalo. The scouting report in this Russian team entering this tournament, Ray, was maybe not as strong as we've seen in past years. You had a game and a bit to watch them. What do you think?
I would agree. Not as dynamic. The defense isn't as good. The old-style Russian defense is, you don't get many points from them, but they defend hard. They're crisp in their zone. They got half of that. They're not going to get many points, but they don't defend very crisply either. It's not a team like we've seen the last couple of years.
Abramov, centering pass with Sokolov, knocked away, and then brought back now by Simic. Russia, you mentioned won medals in 7 consecutive years, but only 1 goal in the last 14. That was here in Buffalo in 2011. Samorukov plays it around, knocked down by Abramov. Abramov slides it across to Sholikov. Sholikov brings it around for Abramov, but the Russians are changing. Abramov got knocked offside there by Eglin. Nussbaumer. For Leuenberger, and Leuenberger slides it back out. Great pass for Nussbaumer. Nussbaumer, Leuenberger, and Eggenberger on the ice at the same time there. Rubtsov works it in.
That's a Scrabble championship right there.
You lay down any one of those 3 names in Scrabble, it's over. Then get Altibar Makin. Oh. Manukyan. Bumped there by Nussbaumer. And Egley back with it. 3.5 to go here in the second period. And as you said, the Swiss would be thrilled if you told them before the game it would be the score at this point. And maybe more so now, surviving that long power play, including a 5-on-3. Russia's had 10 of the last 11 shots in the game.
There's that formula again. You need your goaltender to be solid, and Vutric has been outstanding.
Alfie Barmakian drops it back. Knyzhov works in, centers it. Rolling puck, Polodian turned away in tight by Vutric. What a stop by the Swiss netminder.
Polodian, who's had an excellent second period, can't believe that this puck didn't go through Philip Vutric. As he gets left all alone in front of the net. And Vutric's not real sure where it is. He's spread out in the butterfly, but his butterfly is open in the middle. Watch, his stick's gonna come off the ice. And this puck goes back, gets caught under the left pad, and somehow stays out of the net.
That might have been more moth than caterpillar, or more moth than butterflies.
Yes,
right?
that was sprawled all over the place there.
A couple of times he's looked behind him today, but so far has held his ground, stopping 20 of 21 shots, including 4 of them on that last power play. Kurashev drops it back for Geiser. And Gross with it. Those two D-men are almost always on the ice with this line. As Gross has to knock it down, can't. Maltsev has it. The Alfie Barmakian. Maltsev defended well there by Geiser. Now throws it back in front. Alfie Barmakian couldn't get a shot away. Now Knyzhov a long shot knocked away by Vutric. Of course, if Alfie Barmakian was a right-handed shot, he would have, but we don't have many of those here on this Russian team. Remember the one year they were all left-handed shots?
All lefties, every one of them. So random.
Svechnikov digs it free for the Russians. In for Kostin, that pass broken up by Miranda. Svechnikov plays it back. Here's Seoman back at the point with it. Long wrist shot, bounces down in front, score! Kostin pokes it home. And the Russians have retaken the lead with 1:44 to go in the second period.
That's quite a half.
I think it might still be alive.
Excellent work again by the Russians. They've dominated much of this second period with their forecheck, with their cycle, getting to the loose puck, and Klim Kostin standing on the backside is going to circle from behind the net. Kurashev's going to lose him for just a moment here as the puck hits his stick and goes backwards, and Kostin slams it in underneath Vutric, who's not able to react quick enough.
So we think Kostin should be credited with the first goal as well. He's got the second, and the Russians lead by a score of 2-1. Kayamov, ball's in the corner. The Kukla knocks that away. And now Simic back with it. Kayamov trips it there for Rubtsov. Raymond Rubtsov, Kayamov. Sokolov with it, back in the corner for Sholikov. And Sholikov stays on it as the Russians are changing. Now fired wide by Semerukov. Sholikov digs it free. And it's Brother Sokolov, a sharp angle shot, bounces right back. Semerukov in for Sholikov. Penalty coming down to the Swiss. Abramov walks back in front, bouncing puck. Abramov couldn't contain it. Now throws it back in front. Sokolov had that knocked away by Eggenberger. Semerukov shoots, and the save is made by Vutric with 31 seconds to go in the period. Another Russian power play coming.
Christian Volvin and the Swiss just trying to hang on here at the end of this second period. They killed off the 5-on-3 earlier. Now they're going to have to kill again. There's the hooking call on Lecoutre in front of the net. Oh, they gave it. Yeah, it is Lecoutre. the defenseman in front of the net. So for the Swiss, they got to get out of this period right where it is.
3 straight penalties against the Swiss.
The Russians 1 for 3 on the power play today.
Face-off won by Kurashev. Knocked down the line by Abramov. Now Seelman had to hustle back as Miranda was closing quickly on him. Sokolov swings back at center ice. Works his way in. 10 seconds to go in the period. Sholikov. The time winding down. Plays it back to Sokolov. Backdoor pass at Abramov. Back for Sokolov. That was ticked away. And a good defensive play there by Geiser. The Russians will have 1 minute and 29 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third period and will leave after 2 with a 2-1 lead on Switzerland. The Russians have the last 11 shots in that second period. You're watching the 2018 World Junior Hockey Championship from Buffalo. Our second admission is coming up now. Back here in Buffalo, Marco Miranda scored 9 seconds into the second period to tie the game at 1, but then Klim Kostin scores with less than 2 to go in the period. Makes it a 2-1 Russian lead. They've outshot the Swiss 25-8, had the last 11 shots in that second period. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. And Ray, what we saw more in the second period was the Russians pressuring the Swiss.
And that's really always been a strength of a good Russian team at this tournament. It's that they use their size, they cycle the puck, they hold the puck in the zone. Gord, you mentioned that at the 9-second mark, the Swiss tied the game 1-1. They only had 2 shots for the rest of the period, mainly because the puck was in the end zone for most of the period. Klim Kostin does an excellent job cycling the puck and getting a shot. Pologian does an outstanding job more than a couple of times where he's able to shield the Swiss defender off and eventually create a chance. They worked long enough and deep enough into that period for Kostin to score and give the Russians a 2-1 lead heading into the third period.
And meantime, they'll start this third period on the power play as Simon Lecoutre has 1 minute and 29 seconds to serve on his penalty. So the Swiss had 2 early power plays in the first period, couldn't connect. The Russians had a long power play in the second, including nearly a minute of 5-on-3 time, and couldn't take advantage either. Kayamov works in now. And Kurashev had lost his stick, retrieves it, and can't squeeze that by Rubtsov. Kurashev back with it. Taken away by Kurimov. And now Rubtsov takes the return pass from Kurimov. German Rubtsov. Down to the goal line, just missed Zaitsev with that pass. Nukian plays it across, and Rubtsov fans on the one-timer. Loose puck gathered up by Kurashev, and he sends it down the ice. Manulin. Rink wide for Polodian. Now Maltsev with it. With 15 seconds to go on the Russian power play. Maltsev pivots back in the corner. Broken Vermuken, that's broken up. And Simic couldn't clear it out. Now does in the second try and sends it down to the Russian zone. Polodian. Jumps it across the line. The power play is over. 2 shots on goal for the Russians on that man advantage. It remains a 2-1 game. Polodian spins back in the corner. Leaves it there for Maltsev. After Ganai's job with a long shot, the floats way wide. Alti Barmukian. With it taken away there by Berendun. And now the Swiss are off to the races. Andre Heim works in. Drops it back for Jaeger, and a penalty coming to the Russians. Jaeger works back in front, jams it home, and scores! With a penalty coming, Ken Jaeger slides it by Sukichov, and once again, the game is tied.
2 goals on their last 4 shots for the Swiss. Ken Jagger, who is a late add to this team, takes the puck outside and jams it underneath the goaltender, Sukuchov. He gets outside Makiev here. Nice little fake, and then he's going to protect the puck well enough to get to the front of the net, and this puck slides right underneath the goaltender. And Jaeger has made it 2-2. It's a really nice move, and the puck just slides in underneath the right pad off the post and in.
I'm not sure who's more excited, the players or the coaching staff. This is the most, look at them, the most amped up coaching staff we've seen. And why not? For so many years, the Swiss national junior team was coached by Jakob Koliker, who was a very nice man, very calm, very even keel. Now Kurashev across the line, and the play is offside. So now if you're the Swiss, what's your philosophy here in the third period?
Oh, you have to play. I mean, we saw what happened in that second period when they couldn't get to the puck. The play was just cycled constantly in their zone, and eventually you break. You're an 18 or 19-year-old kid. How can you not love that? Like, seriously.
I'm 52, I love that.
That is outstanding.
Boy, heaven help the guy that scores the overtime winner for them.
Gonna have a sore back. But so, the Swiss here, clearly still the underdogs, but what ends up happening is you shorten the game along. There's zero frustration on the Swiss bench.
Right.
All the expectation is in the Russian bench. And so these guys are feeling great about where they are. The other side, they know they've already lost one. They're now in a game that these are supposed to be their two pretty good games for them to get off to a good start. Now they're in trouble here.
They got Belarus to play, then they close out against the Swedes on New Year's Eve, the last game of the round robin.
But they're clearly in danger here. The Swedes are going to be no picnic on New Year's Eve.
Well, that sets up a must-win against Belarus, which doesn't sound that bad, except you'd rather not play a one-game shot.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. From innovative fridges to the latest laundry pairs, nobody beats our prices on appliances. Guaranteed.
Niagara Falls, New York, and that is a Wolverine. That man came over and said hi to us between periods. He trapped it himself in Alaska. I said, is it still alive?
I just don't get it.
He said, the great thing is it never freezes, especially if it fires it wide. I said, really? Ever seen a frozen Wolverine? I'm just saying.
I've not seen a...
You've got me there. Make your own hat. They're not going to blow the whistle. Finally do, as more whacks at the ankles happen.
7 guys piled into there. So eventually they decide we might as well just blow this thing down and start again. There's Klim Kostin, who's got either 1 or 2 goals today for the Russians. But I think he's got 2, but scoring shows that he's got 1.
Barony brings it in now for the Swiss. And it's Yeoman back to pick it up. Yeoman rather has been giving credit for the first Russian goal. Looked pretty clear to us that Kostin tipped it. And now Rohrbach back for the Swiss. Russia 22-2 all time against the Swiss. Rohrbach with a chance there. One of the 2 losses in the quarters in 2010 in Saskatoon. An overtime goal by Nino Niederreiter. And talking about scoring changes, it took months to get that change to Niederreiter.
Didn't they have a left-handed goalie? The
Yes.
Swiss?
Yeah.
Okay, its name is right there. Well, yeah, but because usually it's kind of a test, because usually you get these pretty quickly. But he was so good. And then Niederreiter had a fabulous tournament for the Swiss as well.
Benjamin Kahns
was outstanding in that.
Yeah.
So you don't like the on-the-air quiz?
Oh, my, no. That was bugging me. I couldn't remember him. Maltsev works in now. Maltsev shoots that wide. But we talked about it, for a long time, the backbone of Swiss hockey was their goaltender. You're thinking of Martin Gerber with a shutout against Canada at the 2006 Olympics.
They've never been a country that scores a lot.
No.
And so seeing a player like Hischier last year was remarkable to think that the level of skill that he had already at 17 years old and has had a terrific start in New Jersey.
Icing called against the Russians, but a reminder, our next stop tomorrow will be in the great outdoors in Orchard Park, New York, the home of the Buffalo Bills, and we'll play the U.S. at the outdoor game at New Era Field.
Looks warm.
All the snow shovelers there, cleaning up the aisles.
Both teams have had a chance to practice and see what it feels like to skate around out there.
The Swiss defender falls. The drop pass broken up there by Nussbaumer. Lead pass, missed Simic, icing waved on. Just think about the Swiss for a second, though, Ray. Down 2-1 in the third period against Belarus. And they dropped that game, then they're staring down Russia, Sweden, Czech to close out the round robin and potentially going into relegation.
Yeah, 2 goals in 3 minutes against Belarus. They get a win. Now they're tied in the third period here. It's amazing fortunes change in a hurry. That's one of the reasons I love tournament hockey. Everything's so compacted. Everything means so much.
Bernie, nifty move, in shoots, rattled that wide. Tim Bernie with a great move there. And the puck wound up in the back of the Russian net. Ken Yeager has the tying goal. It's 2-2 here in the third. There is Christian Volven on the Swiss bench during the TV timeout. I don't think anyone can ever say they didn't hear it.
Look at that, though. Play with heart. Go forward. That's the way you got to play. The game to sit back and defend, and that day is gone.
And the Swiss did it for a long time. Their national men's team would play that way.
The rules just don't allow you to do that anymore. If you try to play that, it's a dinosaur. It won't survive.
Here comes Yeager again across the line. Flips that towards the goal, and Sukichov makes the save.
We have been entertained by Christian Volven throughout this afternoon. Look at this. He wants his guys to think. Ay, ay, ay. But when you score, you get much love.
And we'll see our friend Olaf Eller later in the tournament when Denmark plays Canada. Wonderful guy. And the Danes have been a terrific story the last few years at the World Junior.
It's another small country that when the dominoes align, they can put together some pretty good teams. And we've seen them over the last 4 or 5 years with some really talented kids.
But when they turn 20, that's the problem. Then in these age-limited tournaments,
you can't stay, but they have run some terrific kids through this tournament.
Shots are 26-13 Russia in a 2-2 tie here in the third period. They're going to say Kurashev did that unfairly.
He used his feet, I believe, or did he spin too? It's like a pretty good draw to me.
We saw a penalty yesterday for a face-off violation, so you got to be careful here that Maillard doesn't get tossed. Problem with the Score clock, making sure the time is correct. Scramble draw controlled by the Swiss. Riva. Up for Maillard. He finds Miranda in stride. Miranda with the first Swiss goal. Got that batted away.
Miranda can really go. He's a quick skater.
And now Clinton Kostin works in. Kostin finds it across for Svechnikov. Svechnikov throws it back in front. Knocked down by Miranda. Takes it off the boards and out. And Seoman back to pick it up. Kostin trying to find Svechnikov. That was broken up and played out by Bernie. Now Kostin dances through center ice. Clinton Kostin up there by Bernie. Zaitsev across to Manulin. Shoots the puck right down, and Lutrick made the stop. Now it's Manulin across the line for the Russians. Vutric leaves it there for LeCoutre. And Tim Bernie finds Simic, who slips that down to the Russian zone as Manulin goes back. Leaves it there for Zaitsev. Nussbaumer back for it. And Manulin is being forced there by Simic. Manukyan back for Kayamov, and the glove save made by Vutric.
The Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup is back. Help Pee Wee teams across Canada by sharing your suggestions for good deeds in your community with #GoodDeedsCup.
Gordon Ray Ferraro, Tessa Bonhomme, our TSN production team here at Harbor Center in Buffalo, across the street from the main rink of the World Junior Championship. Pretty nice arena.
I like it. I think this is an outstanding size for an arena. Put enough people in here to watch the various programs that they run through here. They could turn down the air conditioning. I don't mean to complain, but I'm going to. It's cold. It's cold.
I'm from Alberta. It's cold. Cold outside, too. Shalikov and Sokolov crisscross there. Shalikov working on Gross. So approaching the midway point here of the third period. Jaeger watches out Yelizarov. He plays it back here to the Swiss. A power play chance in the next 10 minutes will be your golden opportunity.
Look at them, though. They're up the ice. They forecheck, force Russia into another icing call. After two periods, it felt like the Russians had taken control of the game, that they were, there wasn't going to be much push from the Swiss, and the Swiss have outshot the Russians 5-2 here in this third period, and 5-3 rather, and it just doesn't seem to be any giddy up again from the Russians. No cycle, no hold the puck, no secondary support.
Shepelev. Here's it from Maltsev, knocked down by Miranda. So you've got the top lines going head-to-head here. The Kurashev line for the Swiss and the Maltsev line for the Russians. And here comes Kurashev across the line with Maillard. Kurashev fans on that shot, plays it back down to Maillard. He was tied up by Polonium. The Kuchner's long shot goes high and wide. And now Miranda plays it back down to Kurashev. Miranda throws it back towards the goal. Gloved down by Shepelev. Plays it back to center ice. And LeCoutre swings back for it. Simon LeCoutre plays for Moncton in the Quebec League. Up for Maillard. Goes up towards the goal. Hits Zaitsev in the back with it. And Kostin is tied up there by Bernie. Ivanov. Tied up at the line, and now Nussbaumer back with it for the Swiss. And he was knocked offside by Svechnikov. Eggenberger back with it, the Swiss captain. He's there for Nussbaumer. poked back by Kostin. 9 to go in the third period. A 2-2 tie. In comes Kostin for it. Then Kostin for the trailer. He scores! Kayamov snaps it home, and the Russians have taken the lead for the third time.
It's a great finish by Kayamov at the receiving end of two really nice passes. Watch Svechnikov here. He's going to go through the Swiss defender's feet. That allows Klim Kostin to get to the puck, and one little cycle, he pushes the Swiss back. Kostin, who's had an excellent game, head up. Watch when he comes out of the cycle. Head up the whole way. This is right on the pass of Kayamov, and he beats Vutric up over the glove, and 11 minutes left, and the Russians have taken their third one-goal lead.
So Kayamov with goals in back-to-back games, scored in the third period against the Czechs to bring the Russians within 2 in that game. A Chicago second-round pick in 2016. Not a lot of drafted players on this Russian roster. Manukyan. Long shot got right down the... Vutric made the stop. The rebound bounced down in front, picked up there by Segrist. And now the Russians are like some breathing room, something they haven't had in the game. They've led it 3 times, but always by 1 goal. And now, in the defensive zone, Marcel Sholikov is down for the Russians.
Oh, he's in some distress here.
And slowly makes his way to the bench. That shot by Cavalieri stood away easily by Sukichov. And Abramov brings it in now for the Russians, trying to split the D. Drops it back for Seoman. His shot blocked by Leyenberger. It's down to the goal. Rebound chance, tapped wide there by Sokolov. And Shepard swats it back into the Swiss zone. Jumps in now for the Swiss, a rolling puck. He found that shot. Kurashev tries to drop it back, and Kostin has it back. Rose tries to chip that ahead. And Shepard swings back for it. And that puck skipped off the glass and goes out. 7:03 to go here in the third period. Artur Kayamov has the Russians back on top.
Marcel Sholikov from the Russians gets clipped here by Dario Rohrbach of the Swiss as they're going by each other in the defensive zone. He's still on the Russian bench, but he was really slow back to the bench. He didn't look really great to me when he went back to the bench.
Kurashev back out for the Swiss after the TV timeout.
Yeah, he's going to play a lot here.
And Maillard works it free. Loose behind the Russian goal. Maillard centers it, trying to find Kurashev. That's poked away by Manula. Manukyan back the other way, holds, walks in. Drops it back, sights him a hard shot, pad saved by Vutric, and Manulin's shot was blocked. Kayamov tried to center it, now Kayamov back on it. And the Russians have this Swiss top line where they want them defending.
Since the goal, the Russians, predictably, a little skip to them. Playing forward a little bit more, and you're right, if you can box that Swiss line up, you're doing yourselves a heck of a favor, because that's the dangerous trio.
Egley flips that back into the Russian zone. Ivanov for Svechnikov. Drops it back for Kostin, working back in front. The puck skipped away from Ivanov. Kostin has it back. Svechnikov a drive. And the save made there by Vutric. 5:57 to go in the third period. You're watching the 2018 World Junior Hockey Championship live from Buffalo. Christian Volven behind the Swiss bench. His team has not led yet in this game. Trailed in the third period, came back against Belarus. Now trailing Russia in the third as well.
Wants guys to dig just a little deeper. Of course, the Swiss playing their second game in 2 days.
Right.
And were taxed pretty heavily as they had to come from behind to beat Belarus.
The Belarusians were crushed by that loss.
I just think they're in such great shape. They're a one-goal lead with 11 minutes left or so and gave up the 2 goals. The winner, as it turned out, with 8.5 minutes left.
Just promoted back in the top group for just the second time in the last decade. Now Jaeger spins and shoots. That was blocked by Seelman. Sharp angle shot taken by Bernie. And Sukhachov has that.
Trolikov back on the ice after being shaken up earlier. Well, the Russians will try to defend here. Will they defend aggressively or sit back? And as we've talked about a couple of times with the Swiss, sitting back is just such a dangerous way to play.
One thing that Bragan doesn't do much is double shift or lean harder on defense plays. He tends to roll his line.
Well, we look through that stat sheet between periods and everybody seems to be within a minute or two.
Maltsev plays that back, and the shot by Yelizarov stopped by Vutric.
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Home Depot. With our wide selection of top brand appliances, nobody beats our prices. Guaranteed.
Not sure I want to go for a swim there today.
Nope.
And by the way, it ends badly a couple miles downriver.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, you know where you're going to end up. Straight down.
Face-off won by Kurashev. But Manoukian picks up a loose puck, and now it's taken back by Miranda. And away comes his top line for the Swiss. Miranda with poke check. Kurashev plays it ahead, knocked in by Maillard. And Zaitsev is back to pick it up. Russians, by the way, are the home team in this game. Do have the last change. If there's going to be a match, they have Zaitsev out against the top line for the Swiss. Now Karimov in, shoots, hit the goalpost. Karimov, who just gave the Russians the lead, almost gave the insurance goal, but hit the pipe. Now Kurashev across the line, and the play is offside as there was a leg-on-leg collision. Manoukian went down hard.
As Maillard's trying to stay onside at the blue line, he's got his legs planted, and Manoukian's going across the other way, and they're going to clip knee to knee. And because Maillard's legs are planted, he's in a much stronger position. Watch right here when he turns. Oh, yikes. Hopefully he's okay. That's a dangerous play. Skyamev shot, he just kind of chips at it, and it beats Vutric, hits off the outside of the post.
So again, that top line for the Swiss, not able to gain the offensive zone. You have 4:17 left, probably 3 more shifts for them.
Yeah, see, I would try and get them on the fly here instead of starting at a face-off. So I would come back with them right now.
Eggenberger throws it in. This bomber trying to dig that free. It's played around by Samorukov. And Svechnikov out for Kostin. When Kostin drops it back for Svechnikov, that pass broken up. Shepelev, they'll keep the play alive. Keep the play alive with the Swiss line. That long shoot in. Stopped by Vutric, he'll hang on. Philip Vutric plays in the Swiss Junior League.
Had a good afternoon here. He got lucky a couple of times. That initial chance by Manoukian early in the game that he botched, and then Vutric made the stop. Then he got a goal post here. There was also one in the second period, but for the most part, he's been really solid. Look out.
Chance for 2-on-1 here. Here they come. Heim working in and defended well by Seelman.
What a good play by Seelman.
Now the point shot Taken by Geiser, kicked away by Sukichov. Geiser. Up for Jager as the second Swiss goal. Bounces down to Sukichov, hangs on to that with Jager closing in quickly.
Seoman has a power play goal and an assist. That first goal was credited to him. But he makes a terrific play here. It's 2-on-1. Watch how aggressively he cuts across. As soon as Heim put his head down, Seoman made one pivot with his left foot, push, strong push across, stick out in good position to deflect the pass away. That's a terrific play. Here Maltsev and Kurasov out again against each other again.
Maltsev with a face-off against Kurashev, and Maltsev wins it cleanly. That's a big face-off win for Maltsev. Ultimamakian in across the line. Knyzhov in for Plodium. And Maltsev back with it. Maltsev walks in, shoots, whistled that wide. Knyzhov with it now. Under 3 to go in the third period. And again, this top Swiss line playing D. And Knyzhov shoots, he fired that wide.
They started out with an offensive zone face-off. They lost the draw, and now they can't get the puck back.
Kurashev tied up by Ultimamakian. And Ultimamakian goes that towards the goal, now knocked down and scooped up on my eye. Art bangs that down in the Swiss zone. And they're going to call that icing against the Swiss.
Wolven doesn't like the call.
So he touched the puck. So the face-off back down to the Swiss zone, and the Swiss can't change.
So they've got part of their top line on the ice.
Exhausted.
Kurasov's got to win a draw here and help get them out of danger.
So Rubtsov gets tossed here.
Stop the puck.
And Kayamov will take the draw.
Oh, he got lucky. He knocked that out of the air.
Yeah. And the Russians maintain possession. So they got tired Swiss players on the ice, and the Russians with the puck.
And Manukian is back on the ice for Russia, who is in that knee-on-knee collision.
So Maillard flips it down, stays out for now as the Swiss are changing. Kayamov up for Rubtsov. 2 to go in the third period. So keep an eye on Vutric in the Swiss goal. Lakutra works in. Had it knocked away. Race for it now, and a chance for an odd man rush for the Russians. Svechnikov with Ivanov. The centering pass Ivanov. Ian Vutric makes the save. Rebound scores. Svechnikov pokes it home. And the Russians have taken a 4-2 lead.
Well, the Swiss put quite a fright into the Russians, but 2 late goals are going to get this down. Are going to get it done. Andrei Svechnikov, his first of the tournament. He's got a 3-point night. He starts this play, makes a nice play to Ivanov. It's a good stop by Vutric. Well, I don't know if that's Svechnikov or if it hits Tim Berni.
Looks like Berni's skate went in.
Well, it might have touched Svechnikov first. Maybe we can see here, but Ivanov is a half a stride out front. The stop is made, and this puck deflects eventually off of Berni into the net. Nussbaumer can't get there quick enough.
Hit both of Berni's skates and went in.
Well, that's a tough one.
So they'll take a look at it. Jakob Grumson, the Danish referee, and Jeremy Tops, the American official.
Don't know exactly what they're looking at.
Well, I think one question is, did it fully cross the line? Because
which it did.
Nussbaumer was trying to dig it out. I'll take a look at that and make sure that it wasn't kicked in by a Russian player, I would suppose. But the Russians will bounce back from an opening game loss to the Czechs, it would appear. And even their record at 1-1. And it's a goal. So both these teams, it would appear, will go to 1-1, barring a miraculous late comeback for the Swiss. The Russians have Belarus Friday, Sweden Sunday. The Swiss have Sweden Saturday, the Czechs on Sunday. But if things hold on this side, their win over Belarus will get them into the quarterfinals. The Swiss, that is. Off it draws Miranda, centers it, and Butrick goes to the Swiss bench, but the Russians have the puck. Abramov scores! Vitaly Abramov into the empty net, and it's 5-2.
Well, the Russians dominated the second period. Get the late goal by Klim Kostin, then after Ken Yager scored to make it 2-2. They started to carry the play a little bit more, started to hold on to the puck, make some plays in the offensive zone, and Abramov puts this thing to bed. It's 5-2 Russia.
So goals 13 seconds apart. The Russians lost their first 2 games in the 2011 World Junior Championship, went on to win the gold medal. We've seen them get off to slow starts before, but they right the ship after the Swiss gave them all they could handle here for a while, as the play is called offside. But we have not yet, through 2 games, see a long stretch where the Russians really owned the puck. Had 11 straight shots at one point in the second, but even then didn't seem to have the...
Well, and I think that part of that is, Gord, that they're just not the team that they were in the past, where they were bigger and stronger and held the puck and used both their age and size against their opponents. They're going to have to work for everything they get in this tournament.
Nico Gross getting an earful from Volvin. Under a minute to go here in the third period. Alti Barmakian across the line, drops it off for Maltsev. Maltsev tries to chip that across. Now Eggenberger with it. Lakutra plays it across. And Zaitsev leaves it there. Centers for Rubtsov, throws it back in front of point blank save made there by Butrick. Amanukia. And the Russians will run out the clock and post a 5-2 win over the Swiss to even their record at 1-1. The Swiss will fall to 1-1 through 3 days of this World Junior Championship.
Klim Kostin was outstanding today. Svechnikov with 3 points as well. And a pretty gutty all-in performance from the Swiss falls short. Tied 2-2 in the third. They give up the 2 goals late, an empty netter, and it's a 5-2 Russian final.
The Russians survive another scare after dropping their opener to the Czechs. And now move towards the weekend with games against Belarus and the big closer on New Year's Eve against the Swedes.
Goal scored by number 14.
Valeri Bragin, who has seen his team stumble early on before.
Team Russia 15 for a game total of 40. 14 Switzerland 80 for a game total of 16.
We'll see if they can once again turn on the Jets. Time now for the player of the game presentations.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our post-game awards. Here to present the awards is Taylor Kersey from the Buffalo Beauts. First, the player of the game from Team Russia, number 24, with 1 goal, Flynn Custon.
St. Louis first rounder.
From Team
Really costed us
Switzerland,
2 goals, by the way.
number 30, Philip Wuthridge.
Or Vutrick. He was good.
Really good. It's turned into this was a good hockey game. The Swiss gave what they had, tied late, chance to win, and then the Russians pull away for the 5-2 win.
Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Team Russia's victory this afternoon, please rise and remove your hats to respect the playing of the Russian national anthem.
The 2018 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship from Buffalo, New York is brought to you by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 30 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey team. By RBC, let's make someday happen. And by TELUS, powering the network that keeps us all connected.